We are still relishing the glories of the African Games just concluded in Accra, Ghana. Today, we have a British-born boxer of Nigerian descent who goes on to draw equivalence between her motivation and that of Olympic gold medalist Anthony Joshua. Patricia Mbata, a rising African female boxer who has only been punching competitively for over 4 years. The Nigerian never even dreamed of boxing in college. Mbata discovered her love for boxing in her 20s and was relieved to be in a sport she truly enjoys, surrounded by people she greatly admired. The 28-year-old won all her bouts in the 2023 Ha-ringey Box Cup in June and left the Alexandra Palace in London with the gold medal. Mbata's victory cemented her position as one of the middleweight boxers to watch out for in England and beyond, making a seminal moment on her short boxing career. She caught the interest of Nigerian Boxing Federation, who invited her to fight for the national team, and it was a dream come true after then. At the just concluded African Games, Mbata clinched gold in the women's 75 kg weight class boxing event after defeating Radi Adosinda Gramini of Mozambique and also Ben Mabrouk Moka of Tunisia by point in order to secure the 8th gold medal in boxing for Nigeria at the African Games. We have the pleasure of having Patricia Mbata all the way joining in the game right now, all the way from London, UK. Thank you so much, Patricia, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
It's a pleasure to have you. Of course, reading that profile over there, I'm already mesmerized. But let's give you the flowers already. It's great to see that you did say you enjoy the sport. As a woman, I'm so curious to know, why boxing, Patricia?
That's the question I get asked all the time, especially by the Nigerian aunties. They're always like to me, why are you boxing, Patricia? I've always been sporty from young, and to be honest, like you mentioned before, I didn't think I would get into boxing. I started off playing athletics. It was 100 meters, 200 meters, and triple jump and high jump. Then just moved on to rugby, and then somehow found myself transitioning over to boxing. And as soon as I stepped in that ring, I just knew this was the sport for me. And you know, I've just excelled and just keep getting better every time.
Every time I can see the glory, the dividend of you getting better every time, hanging over there on your neck, the gold medal from the just concluded African Games. But Patricia, you left athletics, you left triple jump, you left rugby, you settled for boxing. Why the interest in boxing? Why the interest? Why not picking up other, sport? Like you did say, you did mention. How did you just find that love to connect with boxing?
Do you know, it's just such a random story. It's I remember I was sitting in the office one day and my friend that was on the rugby team said that she'd done a white collar boxing fight, and I had no idea what boxing is. I didn't know what white collar boxing was. I was just intrigued at the fact that she boxed someone in the ring. It was for charity, so she was raising money. She had all her friends come, and I thought, oh, I could do that. So my first fight was actually a white collar competition, and it was to raise money for cancer research. I brought loads of my friends, colleagues, just to come and support and raise money for the event. And then I thought, oh, I actually want to progress. And I did a little bit more research and found out that, this was...
Oh, I think we're having network problems there, but I'm very sure the network will allow us to have this conversation with Patricia Mbata. You can see an interesting one there. Patricia, you're back?
I'm back now.
Yes, please. Please continue with that interesting story there. Right, we're still being patient here for the network to give us way to have this conversation. Patricia she won gold, of course, in that 75 kg women's event at the African Games. Dangling on her neck right now is the gold medal. Patricia, you're back again. Great to have you once again.
Oh, the connection. Yeah, so it was just as simple as me Googling boxing gyms near me, and that's how it started. It was nothing, it was, there was no story behind it. I just thought, I want to start doing this seriously. I want to start taking this on as a sport that I want to pursue. And I always said that I'm going to reach the Olympics, no matter what sport it was. I definitely didn't think it'd be boxing, but I always just had this dream of going to the Olympics as a little girl, and that's the dream that I'm pursuing. And the dream is still alive. So it's boxing that has just made it all a reality. And yeah, I'm just enjoying every minute of it.
Okay, great one. But I'm sure with Nigerian parents, did your parents approve of this sport? I understand that even your mom could not understand why her daughter, a project manager in a construction company, would choose boxing as a hobby. At what point did you even decide that there was no turning back for you on boxing? Because right now, I would say you're reconstructing your opponent's face.
My mum knows me very well, and she knows I can be very persistent and stubborn. And when she saw that, wow, this girl is really putting her everything into it and juggling a full-time job. I mean, and even at the time when I was at university, I was juggling three things. I was juggling work, I was juggling university, and juggling, the boxing training. And it was just a lot, but I pursued through, obviously graduated, progressing through my job, and still doing well in the boxing. There was just something about the boxing and the competition and the dedication that you put into it that my mum saw, that no matter how much she objected to it, she kind of just had to go along. And now that I'm on the Nigerian national team, there was more of a bond between us, so we could relate to the sport more, because there was something for her to talk about and relate to and kind of give me advice. So yeah, it's just amazing. And I just feel as if boxing is just changed my life, and it's just made everything just so great, and just made my dreams come true. So I love the sport. But yeah, I know, especially as African parents, and especially as a woman, it's probably not the done thing, but it's when your daughter has got a dream, they just help you make that dream come true.
They've got no choice than to support you. What was your conviction to represent Nigeria, and how has the journey been so far? At least I can see that evident in your display there at the African Games. What was the conviction? Because reading your profile, I did hear that the Nigerian Boxing Federation contacted you. So what really convinced you?
Yeah, I mean, there's just something about representing your homeland, and I'm able to be on this platform wearing the green, white, green, and to do it for Nigeria is just something special. Of course, I live in England, and there are opportunities here, but the fact that I'm able to do that and just make my mum even that much more prouder, I think that was the decider for me.
Okay, you're such an entertaining boxer in the ring. You're very relaxed. With your loose boxing style, I could tell from here, dictating the pace before you release some wounding punches to your opponent. Why that choice in style when it comes to the four squared rope?
I just, over the years, I've developed my style. I've experimented with different techniques and styles. And I find that your personality and what's really deep down really comes out in the ring. And quite recently, my recent bouts where you've started to see that dance, that flair, that flow, it's because I just thought, you know what, I'm made for this stage. And the training that I've put in, the dedication and the hard work, there's just no fear. Leading up to the fight, in the training ground before I go out on the stage on the ring, I was just so confident listening to music. People are looking at me in the warm-up area thinking, does this girl know she's going to go and fight? And, you know, it's just sometimes I can't explain it, because I'd look back and I'd be like, yeah, go on, Patricia, like, you're doing it. Like, don't think too much about it. And the confidence, I believe, just comes down to the hard work that I've put in, and just the love that I have for the sport. And as soon as I'm on that stage, in that ring, it's great. It's playtime. I just want to show what I've been working on.
Okay, so sorry to butt in. I just saw that move on the full squared rope after, you know, you won. Did you just move your waist, your hip?
Do you know what? Sometimes I don't know what I have to watch it back to know I did something, because even my coach is like, Patricia, like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just enjoying. I'm just, you know, especially after the fight that I had with the world number one, Mozambique, Raddy, you know, I was really disappointed with the decision that I had in Cameroon, and that was for the African Cup. You know, I believe that I've started to learn a lot about this sport, especially at this level, and sometimes winning the fight isn't enough. And, you know, I was up against her in Cameroon, so this is the second time we fought, and she got the win, which I didn't agree with, but I just thought, do you know what? The next time I step in that ring against her, I'm going to show her that I beat her the first time, and I wanted to show her that you're not going to beat me, like, you're not going to beat me ever. So yeah, that was when I was like, let's just show her the levels. So yeah, I quite like the pressure, and that fight that we had, everyone kept calling it the final before the final, because we were the first fight at the 75 kg, and the Tunisian got the bye. So, you know, it was a real fight at the start, and, you know, we really had to have our game plans in check to get that win, because nobody wants to lose at all, let alone on the, you know, at the first stage. So yeah, that was just me releasing all of that energy, all of that flair, just to make sure the judges know who they're going to give the win to this time.
It is worth it, of course, to, you know, dance that victory dance there. But let's talk about something that was very, very evident after you picked that gold medal at the African Games. You know, former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, he praised you after you clinched the gold medal in the just concluded African Games. So what's the connection with Joshua, Patricia?
Yeah, Josh is absolutely brilliant. So the connection is, we both are Finchley ABC boxers. Finchley ABC is based in North London, in Barnet, and that was his first amateur club. That's my amateur club now. I've got so much love for my coaches, and every time I'm traveling abroad with the national team, I'm still in contact with them. Sean Murphy, Gary Foley, Liam, Walter, Slava, just everyone that is there I feel as if a part of them is with me in that ring, because even though I'm boxing internationally now, you know, my heart's still blue. You know, I still feel as if I'm there to make them proud and to show them what Finchley boxers can do. So Joshua, again, he's still close to Finchley ABC, and he was just really happy and proud that, you know, somebody from our club is at that level and succeeding.
Okay, I want to know this. I saw in your Insta story. You said you wanted to show them the true Mbata style. You wrote that on your Insta story, and that gained a lot of attention. Is the Mbata style that bandana you always have around your neck, or what's up with the Mbata style?
The Mbata style, do you know what? That is just, sometimes the rule book kind of goes out of the window a bit, and it's just hands down play. And, you know, there's another coach, his name is called Coach Emmanuel Azurite. And, you know, we had that connection because he was one of the guys that was like to me, drop your hands, play. And, you know, traditionally, especially in England, your hands are up and you've got a tight guard, and putting your hands down can be seen as a no-no. But I kind of thought, oh, I'm getting away with this. I like this style, and, you know, working on that and building on that. and trying to establish my style is what I'm trying to, show the world, because it is an entertainment. It's a sport, but it's also entertainment, and just showing my flair, showing the dance moves is just something that just comes naturally. So that's probably what I.
Oh, I'm really missing this conversation here. I really thought she would have told me the bandana, is her style, because she's always on that bandana. Anytime you see her in the full squared row for any competition at all. A lovely conversation we'll be having, the network not giving us, peace here to have a fluid conversation. But I'm sure she will reconnect and we'll get a lot out of, Patricia Mbata. Yes, great one, a conversation so far with her. Patricia, right now we're waiting, crossing our fingers, of course, to know if we would have her back. All right, before we continue that conversation, let's just remind you a little bit that we've got some games to look out for, especially for the CAF Champions League. But right now I'm getting information that Patricia has returned once again. Patricia?
Hello.
Welcome back.
Oh no, it's the connection. It's the I don't know how much of that you got, but the connection between myself and Joshua, basically, to sum it up, is we're both from Finchley ABC, and my style in the ring, just touching on that again, it's the Mbata style. It's just basically me. Just showing who I am, showing my style, showing my flair, showing the confidence in the ring. And that's really important, because if you're not confident in that ring, it's dangerous. You need to be sure that you are ready to have the fight of your life every single time. It doesn't matter who it is. Everyone in that ring is there to win, and everyone there is there to do some damage. So when that confidence comes through, it just shows that you're ready. And when my hands are down and I'm playing, it's a way for me to just, it's sort of like it's just a way for me to play and just show that I'm ready. And as I was saying, Coach Emmanuel Azurite, he's also a really big inspiration of mine to let my hands drop. He always says, play, play, play. And when my hands are down and when I'm just loose, that's when you see the best performance, and that's when you see the Mbata style. So it's definitely a style that that's developing, and it's only getting better every time.
I'm very sure it will get better heading into the Olympics, the second window. It was mentioned in an article in the Olympic Channel of how Anthony Joshua has been supportive in your boxing career. You did say that we can see it evident after you picked that gold medal at the African Games. In the same article, it was written you were channeling your inner Anthony Joshua. Help us make sense out of that. How has Anthony Joshua inspired you in boxing for you to be able to channel that inner Anthony Joshua?
The inner Anthony Joshua, I don't know. But in terms of how Anthony Joshua is inspired, I mean, when you've got a world champion on your doorstep, how can you not be inspired? It's just such a lovely person. And what he's doing for the sport is just historical. He's the face of boxing. Every household, even especially in the UK, know who Anthony Joshua is. And even though it's a combative sport, even though the sport is aggressive, even though you're there fighting, people like that just keep themselves humble and just show, a certain class is brilliant, because, it's at the end of the day, it is a sport. And there's just so much respect between athletes, between boxers, because we all know how much we put into it, and we all know the sacrifice and the risk factor that comes with boxing. So, for someone to show that and be at the top of their game, it's just great, It's a real inspiration.
Okay, but you're gunning for a Paris 2024 Olympic boxing slot, but you lost to that Polish opponent, Elżbieta Wojcik, by point in that quarterfinal of the women's 75 kg during the first window. But we're looking ahead of the next window in May. What should Nigerians expect from you, Patricia? Because you may become Nigeria's second woman to qualify for the Olympics since Edith Ogoke in London 2012. What should we expect from you, Patricia?
We should expect that golden ticket. You know, I've had such a funny journey and I can talk about it until I go blue in the face. But, you know, I believe and I feel and I really trust in God's plan. And the fact that I've been able to, you know, box in Africa, box in Europe, and now go and box in Thailand, it's only boosting my confidence in terms of the styles that I've experienced. You know, this is all about being active and being consistent. And the fact that I've had such a packed year full of tournaments and bouts, it's only just made me more confident. You know, when I step into the big rings, these Olympic sized rings, it doesn't faze me at all. I don't feel like, oh my God, I'm going into a big, you know, competition. I just feel as if it's another day in the office, and that's the key. Consistency is the key, and being active is just going to change the game. So I feel so confident going into Bangkok, and I believe in myself to secure that ticket. And after all, the bigger goal is after becoming an Olympian, is to medal and is to get that gold medal. And that's the big game and that's the big goal. So all of this experience, all of these, you know, these things that I'm learning is only going to help make that dream come true.
And I'm hoping that dream will sure come true. You must have to rewrite that record there. Now, Patty, if I have to call you that, you are a testament that one can be into combat sport and then slay, you know, you slay. I saw a video and I'm like, oh, is this Patricia Mbata on Instagram? Is she the same boxer you see channeling the true Mbata energy and all? Oh, you slay, baby girl. What stereotypes about female boxers do you think should be wiped off? Because a lot feel that female boxers are angry birds and they're channeling the whole anger into the full squared rope against their opponents. Some feel they've got this masculine body and they can slay when they want to. What stereotypes do you think should be wiped off about female boxers?
I definitely think that, you know, it's an individual sport, and you know, we've got all walks of life that jump into this sport, and I've met the most amazing people in this, in this industry, and they all come in all different shapes, sizes, personalities, and like you say, obviously, because it's a combat sport, people may tend to think that the women that are involved are more masculine, and that is the case sometimes, and sometimes it's not. But I can only speak for myself, and with me, I'm sometimes feminine and sometimes, you know, really sporty. And outside the ring, you know, I'm not a fighter. I'm just me. And, you know, I like to dress up sometimes, and I like to be feminine. And yeah, I'm just being me, and you can be both. In fact, you can be whatever you like, to be honest. You know, I feel as if sometimes people always put too much of a label, you know, on people, and especially when you're in the limelight. But I feel as if just be yourself, and you know, if they like you, they like you. If they don't, then you know, it's not your problem. So yeah, it's just me expressing the different sides of me.
Different sides that we're relishing here, because I never thought the lady in the ropes would be the same I've just seen right now on screen. How best do you think we can improve African female boxing experience on the continent and even in Nigeria that you represent on the international stage?
I definitely think that it's the exposure. I believe that I've been so lucky to, you know, be exposed to different styles, and, you know, have various training camps in Europe. And, you know, I'll give you an example. When Nigeria haven't been able to go to a training camp, the Algerian team have just taken me under their wing in training camps in Italy, and have just treated me as their own. And I just feel as if I'm so lucky and I'm so blessed that a country that won't have any benefit of me winning have just helped me for the sake of just just the love of boxing. And I just really wish that that can expand. And especially for African boxing, the opportunity isn't there as much. I was born in the UK, so I've boxing internationals and seeing all these different styles is normal to me because that's what I know. But when I see the Nigerian boxing team and where they've come from and what they've achieved, honestly, my hat, it just goes like, it's just off for them. Because sometimes you kind of think, oh, you need to do this training, you need to go here to do to be successful, and you do. But when I see the raw talent of my teammates in Nigeria, my goodness, God knows what they'll achieve if the opportunity is there to box internationally, to go to these training camps. And, I think more funding needs to be pumped into boxing, especially now after this win. Nigeria have made history. We've got 8 gold medals and 2 silvers. That's almost everyone that is medalled, that was entered into this competition. And I feel as if this is a statement for us to show the world and for us to show Nigeria that you've got a winning team here, and it's only going to go up from there. So, yeah, I mean, big shout out to Team Nigeria for looking after me, but I feel as if Nigeria can be doing that as well. Nigeria can be traveling and getting that international experience, and you'll be seeing Nigeria on the podium all day long.
Great, and you're saying this because I remember going into the Tokyo Olympic Games, Nigerian boxing team did not make it there because the then Minister of Sport never had faith that they would churn out medals at the competition. So Patricia Mbata, is great you've been able to put one foot in front, to stamp it that their prospective medals from boxing, especially from the male and female category. We have been speaking to gold medalist from the African Games, Patricia Mbata. I'll call her Patty away from the 4 squared rope, and Patricia Mbata when she is ready to go down against any opponent. Thank you so much. It has been an interesting conversation.
Oh, amazing. Thank you for having me, and I'm sure I'll see you soon at some point.
Sure, we will. Have a lovely day.